steam engine locomotives, flintlock weapons, and strong Victorian vibes. If these things appeal to you, grab a seat and let's talk about the Broadsheet, a new zine by MysticArts. Hi, I'm Carl. Usual disclosure stuff before we go on. This is not a paid review, although I did receive a free review copy. Also, while I do not play 5e, Daddy and the lovely people at MysticArts make some amazing tabletop RPG videos, which are useful for any system, so check them out if you have not already. Now, let's talk about the zine. The first issue is coming out strong at 57 pages with color illustrations, an adventure, NPCs, equipment, and information about the Republic of Atroxia and the city of Blackguard in particular. My understanding is that the future issues will continue to build up the many boroughs and districts of Blackguard into what the author describes as a flintlock-fantasy by gaslight setting. Blackguard is highly industrialized, and is peopled by all the species you would expect to find in any D&D world, plus some new ones like mousefolk. The general feel I got reminded me out of Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, which will probably mean nothing to people under 40. But if you know, you know. Let me just say I think it's a good thing. Unlike Arcanum, where magic is decaying because of the encroachment of technology, in Blackguard it is still alive and well. But you can't just go throwing spells around. It's not only heavily regulated, there are also strong taboos around it because of reasons grounded in the history of the setting. The adventure in the zine is called the Night Ring. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers here, but basically the player characters are on a train, traveling to Blackguard, and stuff happens. The whole thing plays out over 2 hours of in-game time, starting with them leaving the woodland town of Dilhorn, and ending with them pulling into the Blackguard terminal. The way the adventure is structured, you have events which will happen at preset times, unless the players intervene in some way. The first time I saw this structure was in the classic Warhammer Fantasy roleplay adventure, A Rough Night at the Three Feathers. It's an excellent structure, although I have not seen it used in many other adventures. Perhaps because it can be extremely difficult to write, and it can be overwhelming to run if it's pushed too far. Night Ring is pretty tight, and it also avoids the mental gymnastics needed to run Three Feathers by keeping the time frame short and the number of factions manageable. There is still a lot going on, but not so much that you need to break out a spreadsheet, and it also does a good job of setting up hooks and consequences for future adventures. Once the adventure is over, the player characters will find themselves in the Argent sector of Blackguard, which is lovingly detailed and imbued with location descriptions and story hooks. The zine runs off with a primer to the wider world, cultures, factions, campaign ideas, themes, and some useful NPCs. There's a lot to sink your teeth into here, and you can come up with several months of material just using some of the ideas here. It's not going to lure me over to 5e, but there's a lot of stuff here that I want to loot from. So, what do I think of the zine as a whole? Well, the writing is great, the artwork is fantastic, and I think the overall quality is well above publication level. I'm not even joking, I really need to step up my game. The setting is very rich, and the promise of more to come is very enticing. If you want to get it for yourself, you can find it on the MysticArts Patreon, where it is available to members of the Mystic Adept tier or for individual purchase. If you are watching this before the 6th November, you can also use the coupon code NIGHTRING for a 15% discount off of your first month as an Adept tier patron. Bye!